Hey there, and welcome to our King Kong Shift Backpack review. Here at Nomads Nation, we have been reviewing the world's best EDC and travel gear for over 7 years. And in this video, I'm gonna tear this bag apart. We're gonna pack the bag out, we're gonna double check its claimed capacity, and I'll give you my brutally honest pros and cons and overall scores so you can know if this bag is worth the price. And you're definitely gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because there I will give you 2 backpack alternative recommendations in case you're not quite feeling the shift. Also, here at Nomads Nation, we do offer an expedited review package that King Kong did pay for. But this expedited package does not influence our review in any way, shape, or form. It just lets King Kong jump the line, because otherwise we're at like a 3 or 4 month waiting time right now. We got a lot of bags to review. And no matter what review we do, it doesn't matter if it's expedited or non-expedited, we're always giving you our brutally honest opinions. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the gist of the King Kong Shift Backpack. Quick history of King Kong bag rant, because I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff and this context is important to me. I'll make it as fast as possible. Put a timer up, I'm going for 41 seconds. So King Kong's been our radar as a bag review brand for a long time. We've reviewed them over and over through the years, and I've always liked them. There's a lot of like tactical gym brands out there, but I never thought they did it as well as King Kong. I always thought that they had the most potential. And over the years, we kind of watched them evolve more and more. And recently they launched a new collection or an old bag in waxed canvas. And since then it seemed like sort of like a shifting point for King Kong where they're focusing a bit more on quality. And I think the waxed canvas thing really worked for them, which now, ta-da, meet the Shift collection, which is exclusively in waxed canvas and really elevates their game, in my opinion, across the board. Let's talk about some of the top features of the bag. I do think the hero of the story is going to be this waxed canvas, which is from Scotland's own legendary Haley Stevenson. They are one of the best waxed canvas producers on the planet. It's just very, very high quality, which is an enormous reason why this bag is so expensive. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 compression straps on the bag that will define the functionality of the bag. If the waxed canvas defines the aesthetic, these compression straps will make or break if you actually like to use the bag. Quick access front pocket, larger admin pocket here, half zip opening to the main compartment with a bit of organization, 2 water bottle holders that are indeed cinchable, and a nice harness system that features some wide shoulder straps. We're looking at 3 inches on the dot, quite wide, quite interesting. A lot of things to get into here. But let's start by double checking the advertised capacity, of which King Kong claims this bag to be 27 liters. You know, ideal for the use case where you're using this for everyday carry, taking it to the gym, looking like a badass, and having enough room to store all your gym and everyday carry stuff. Also, I just gotta bring this up now. These metal hardwares are gonna be really annoying throughout this review. And just keep in mind, as they're clanking all over the place, if that annoys you during the review, that might annoy you in real life when you're using the bag as well. All right, as you can see, we filled out the main compartment and the larger front admin compartment with our factory grade measurement balls. We didn't do the water bottle pockets, nor did we do, check it out, this front pocket right here, because when the bag is fully packed out, this pocket it's flush. You're not getting much in there. Quick dimension check. We got a height of 17 inches, 11 inches width, and a fully packed out base depth of just under 9 inches. Now, measuring the capacity of a bag is a bit more of an art than a science. Everyone does it differently. But for us, the way that we measure, that main compartment's coming in at around 15 liters capacity. And the front pocket's coming in at around 5 liters. So that's 20 liters that we're getting here at Nomads Nation versus the advertised capacity of 27 liters. Now, we measured both compartments simultaneously, which is a way that I like to measure because then you get an idea of actual volume you get when they're both compartments being used. And also, I'm not like squeezing the out of this bag, some manufacturers do. So I think that if you were to take that in consideration and add the water bottle pockets, you might be like in the 22 to 23 range, but I don't think this bag is anywhere near a full 27 liters. Again, just based on the way that we measure here at Nomads Nation. Now, on their website, King Kong claims this bag weighs 2.9 pounds. I'm getting 3.1 pounds on scale number 1, and the same on scale number 2. As of recording, the bag comes in 4 color options. This is what the bag looks like when it's empty. And here you can see it fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8" and Jason Bagmoa is 6'2". All King Kong bags are protected by a 25-year warranty. And for all that, this bag runs around 250 USD. Now we're gonna use that price point as our North Star moving forward for this review to help give you context if we think it's worth it or if it's a ripoff. But it should be noted, if at any point during this review you like the bag and you're thinking about picking one up, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description. 2 reasons why. First of all, that link makes sure that you get the best price. But the second reason is that we oftentimes get discount codes from the brands that we review. So best price, and if we have any discount codes, they're all with the first link below. Now moving on, let's talk about the materials of the King Kong Shift backpack. We already talked about the Haley Stevenson wax canvas. And if you don't know, wax canvas is a stunning material. It's cotton and it's got literal wax on it. And you can see it develops scars. These scars or these marks are called patina or patina. I never remember how to pronounce it. And I personally love it because it carries the mark of your journey. And it's a vibe though. That's the whole thing. Not everyone is going to like this. It's usually like in one of 3 categories. Either you're hipster as you know, you got like a fedora and you just listen to Radiohead on repeat. And when it's Netflix night, you're just rocking like old Nicholas Winding Refn films. Category number 2 is more the business guy route, who has a little bit of hipster in him as well. This is where we see like Waterfield bags really shine. And then I'd say though, route number 3 is someone who just likes a more heritage kind of feel with their bags, which is where this bag's lane is. And all the materials are really just kind of giving it this old school 1970s kind of rocky vibe, which believe it or not, I gym, okay? I don't gym as hard as some people on the Nomads Nation team, but you know, I went today. Today was leg day, it sucked. And like, it's not my thing, but I think if you're really hardcore into gym culture and you're sick of sort of like the built for athletes, like tactical vibes, this might speak to you. And this canvas doesn't just look good. This wax coating right there, it's extremely weatherproof. Like, that's what the coating is actually for, to fight the rain. And it's also gonna be very durable and abrasion resistant as well. But the problem with wax canvas on the flip side is it can be quite heavy. If this bag was using like a ripstop nylon, it would probably be at least 50% lighter. And what's adding to the heavy weight of the bag is also these metal clips, all the metal hardware used throughout the bag. And then we also got a lot of zippers going on in this bag. We have the half zip opening here, but then this entire compartment, see all these teethiness zippers going on? Let's talk about the zips real fast. Good news, they're YKK. Best zipper brand in the game. Also good news for me, they're not PU coated. A lot of modern bags are using YKK PU coated zippers that look like this to begin with, which means they're great for weather resistance, but then they can look like this over time as they start to peel, and then it's like, oh, why did I spend $250 on a bag that now looks like These zippers will never have that problem, and they're of the highest quality, but one negative is just because of the way that they're implemented on the bag, they're a little catchy. They're not the smoothest zippers. And that's because they're like a little bit more of an old school zipper. Like, they just got sort of a heritage vibe to them. And that's gonna be the recurring theme of this bag, I think, is that I think aesthetically knocked it out of the park. I think that in terms of high quality materials, knocked it out of the park. But we're gonna have a lot of functional compromises because of some of those decisions. So this bag is definitely a bit more vibey, a bit more of like, I want a certain look and a certain feel, less I'm looking to feel as streamlined as possible. But everything on this bag is class. This nylon webbing is gorgeous. Got really nice mesh on the back panel and the shoulder straps. Even the internal lining is a nice tan ripstop, which is why for the first score, I'm gonna give this bag I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 for materials based on quality and premiumness. But there are some functional trade-offs that do need to be taken into consideration, but more or less, this bag is just, it's class when it comes to materials and fabrics. 4.5. Next up, it's time for the Packout chapter. Let's see what the King Kong Shift backpack can actually fit. Now, some things that you can secure here are going to be maybe your actual water bottle itself. You could put a tripod in there, you can put your jacket or sweater in there, maybe a lifting belt. But yeah, these are gonna make or break the bag for a lot of users. Should be noted too, the top ones come unbuckled here, but the bottom ones are in it. There's nothing you can do about them, but you can tighten them and loosen them. Now for this front pocket here, you can see we got some smaller EDC items. The pocket itself actually goes all the way down to this point, and there are 2 internal lining pockets as well. Now it's a little bit tight in there, as you saw when the bag was fully packed out when we were measuring the capacity. It still could be a good spot for your protein bar, wallet. These can fit in the lined pockets in here. We'll just throw some stuff at the bottom as well. More or less though, I'm not gonna pack out this compartment too much. Now to get into the admin pocket, we've got these two YKK zippers. And remember, we have to unclip these clips to actually access. Whatever's in this pocket will make it more difficult to open that pocket. That's how I should have said it. You can see we got a sleeve right here and then a mesh pocket there. 13.5-inch iPad can fit very nicely in this sleeve. There's a nice little mesh in here. I don't think it's gonna be like scratch proof though, so not like a nice microfiber, so maybe put your tablet in a case if it's gonna go in this sleeve. And this mesh is quite nice. I don't like it as much on this part. This part, it's gonna be quite durable, I will admit, but there's no stretch to it. Sometimes there's like a little bit of elasticity to my mesh. I'll go ahead and throw my keys and a battery in this pocket. And remember, we do have volume in this admin pocket. Not a ton, remember we said around 6 liters, so you could throw your headphones in there. You might be able to throw a book in here as well, and this should still be able to zip up. Zippers, pretty smooth. And then, for the main compartment, I got a couple of tech pouches. The half zip opening, I think, works pretty nicely. Allows you to get in there deep enough, like we're not like at the top here. You can see that the zipper goes down a little bit further, which does give you more access. We've got a pocket down here that I personally would never use. So now I'll put the two tech pouches at the bottom. Very nice. You can see there's a nice base in there. And then the hoodie, a little bit of space on top. I stick to what I said when we did our measurement. It's not that I'm not saying that King Kong lied about their capacity, just everyone measures it differently. But for me, with the way that I measured, having reviewed almost 1,000 backpacks at this point, I still stick to the fact that it feels closer to like 22, 23, somewhere in that range, which says it can fit up to a 16-inch. This is our 3D 16-inch cutout. You can see it slides in here. Woo, that's tight. So you can see right here just how tight this actually is. It's not an endangering situation, not the end of the world, but it's definitely a tight sleeve for a 16-inch laptop. Anything smaller though, you should be good to go. There's no real false bottom either, but there's a lot of padding at the bottom. So let's see if we can hear plastic on wood. Wow, yeah, very well protected. Now, quick water bottle test. 24-ounce Columbia. See if we can slide that in there. Now, these straps are gonna be both a little bit of a blessing and a curse, and actually not so much of a curse, because you can loosen them enough to get really any water bottle in here. Yeah, that works nicely. And the blessing though will be the fact that you can then use these compression straps to secure your water bottle, as you can see on the top and on the bottom. Tighten that in place. And that water bottle is insanely secure, this being the 1 liter Yeti. But then if you want to take the water bottle security to the next level, you can do so then with this cinch system right here, which allows you to get it into place. And wow, that is a extremely secure water bottle. Possibly the most secure water bottle I have ever tested in my professional testing career. That is not going anywhere. Couple more quick tests. You can see the bag is self-standing like a champ. Now, a lot of that has to do with the depth of this bag. Actually, at almost 9+ inches at the bottom, it's a deep bag. The Shift's got some junk in the trunk, which not everyone's gonna like on their back because it will protrude out. It's not a very tall, slim bag, but it gives it a great base to self-stand, especially when the bag's fully packed out. Now, we got 2 tech pouches at the bottom of this bag, so that's giving it a really solid foundation, but you can see, you know, that's good. And then for a personal item compliance check for flights, this is US personal item. Let's see that we're gonna have some issues with the depth, right? So like I said, this is a thicker, it's a chunkier bag than normal. And we're at 9+ inches, so thicker than the 8 that this contraption that we made allows. But if you took down the bulk a little bit and you took some things out of the bag, it'll definitely fit in here, no problem. So you got a little bit of a range that you can deal with. Now the last note on the Packout is that there is no luggage pass-through on this bag, none. Bummer. A luggage pass-through would be like a sleeve right here that allows you to stand the bag and slide it over your suitcase handle, therefore making this a travel companion, which we do not have, which is definitely unfortunate.
But would you take that on the travel?
I think if I bought the bag and I spent $250 on it, maybe. Probably not the ideal travel bag, but you know, if this is your vibe, you're gonna wanna take it to the gym, you're gonna wanna take it, you know, to the office, you're gonna wanna travel with it, so that's a bit of a bummer for me. Okay, now let's talk about the comfort of the King Kong Shift backpack. All right, so, comfort. These shoulder straps are insanely wide, which I am a big fan of. Now the reason I'm a big fan of that is Like a thin shoulder strap, imagine just a wire, right? And that's your shoulder strap. When the bag is heavy, that's just gonna be cutting into you. So a wider shoulder strap just gives you a wider landing space, and then less cutty and just more comfy. Less cutty, more comfy, that works. Now I probably could have used a bit more depth though in the shoulder straps. Let's see, is there a little bit dense for my taste? And yeah, they're coming in at under 1 cm in terms of their depth. I prefer 1 cm plus. But not everybody does, right? It depends on how much fabric you want here, because for some people that can be very overwhelming if it's too deep and too wide. Back panel is lined with some really high quality mesh, which will give you some nice breathability along with these shoulder straps here. I don't know what purpose this canvas cutout is serving. I feel like instead of getting all cute with that, they could have just thrown some sort of luggage pass through there. I do think it looks nice. There's an aesthetically pleasing aspect to this design, but luggage pass through would have slapped there. Having worn this bag during testing, and right now I can say it's just really comfortable, at least for the way that I like bags, right? Everybody's body types and preferences will vary. Shoulder straps feel nice. I like the width. Back panel, I wish the whole thing was mesh. There's a little bit of hardness to this canvas portion as opposed to the soft sort of bounciness of this mesh. And one small thing that goes a long way is I do like that we have dangle stoppers here. It just helps to fight this and to keep it in place and to have a more streamlined carrying experience, which does make the bag more comfortable. But we are missing a sternum strap, y'all. That's a buzzkill, which is why for my overall comfort score, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. I like the width of these shoulder straps. So to wrap up the comfort, I find it to be a very cozy bag. Sternum strap would have been a big thing for me. A little bit more depth on the shoulder straps as well. But overall, I found it a joy to wear. Now, before I jump into the next section, which is probably the most important section because we talk about the functionality of the Shift backpack, I wanna again welcome you to Nomad's Nation, especially if this is your first time, because I'm a bit of a bag nerd. And if you've stuck through this much of the review, you either are a bit of a bag nerd yourself, or you just appreciate bags, or you just love really high quality products, and maybe you like to travel and everyday carry. If that's the case, you should definitely check out the Nomad's Nation newsletter, because in the newsletter, we take this whole, gear review thing to the next level, where I give you a 30,000 foot look out of what's happening in this industry, where you can see the newest drops, limited edition releases, industry trends, and everything in between. So if you want to join 10,000 other travel, carry, and EDC nerds, you should definitely join the Nomad's Nation newsletter, which you can do by finding this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. Let's talk about the functionality of the King Kong Shift backpack. So this is where we just kind of like tie it all together, right? The bag's packed out. How does it actually work though? And this is where I think that I like this bag a lot, but functionally speaking, there's just a lot of sacrifices that are made. This does not extend to the water bottle holder. I think this thing is absolutely world class. And especially if you want to use it for something else like a tripod or a sweater, like there's just a lot that you can carry on the outside of this bag. But these straps that allow that external carry also just create complications where every time you want to get into this compartment, this strap is always getting in the way. So you can either pass the zipper underneath or unhook it. And for someone like me who is very impatient, that will just annoy me over time. Actually, not over time, like immediately, and over time, all the time. Access with the main compartment's a little bit better. Actually, it's a lot of it better. I mean, it's a top loader, it's only a half a zip, so you're not gonna get that full clamshell opening experience. But I think on a bag this size, you don't really need it. And in fact, there's benefits not having full clamshell for a bag this size because it kind of just easier to operate and to like get in vertically. Functionality of the laptop access will also be annoying because you got this panel right here. Now, some modern bags will throw a second zipper here so you can unzip and then grab your laptop from there. But here you gotta kind of do it this way, and the panel is gonna get in the way, and it's already really tight for a 16-inch. But if you got a smaller, more manageable laptop like myself with a 13-inch MacBook Pro, then it's gonna be significantly easier. Yeah, that is so much easier to get in and out of the bag, which makes sense, right? I mean, just a larger laptop means it's gonna be taking up more real estate and just being a tighter fit altogether. Should be noted too, we've got some genuine leather trims inside the bag and on the outside with this patch. And if you want to customize the bag with your own hero patch, you can. Morale patch, that's what they call it. I don't know why. If anyone knows why it's referred to as a morale patch and not just like a patch, let me know in the comments below. I've always been curious. Front pocket, like I said, it's tight when the bag is fully packed out, but you got a bit of grabbing space. And this is just meant for like flatter items in general anyways, so I'm totally cool with that. And then when we actually remove this clip, this front admin pocket functions beautifully. I love that there's actually some volume in here so you can fit something bulkier. Quicker access to your tablet and or reading materials is great. This front pocket is great. It's just these clips. They get in the way and they're bloody loud. Overall score for functionality for me comes in at a 3 out of 5. It's not that it's not a functional bag, it's just not the fastest bag. But this bag is definitely not built for speed. You're paying for that heritage sort of vibe and that look and feel. But it's definitely a bag that works. I wouldn't worry about anything breaking or anything not flowing. It just takes an extra second here or there to kind of grab the things that you might want. Top handle, I like it. I think that it's a little tight. Like notice my hands, they're a little small. Like I'm 5'8", right? So like if you're a bigger dude, bigger gym dude, right? You never skip hand day, your hands are just looking beefy, then you're gonna have a little bit harder time getting your hand in and out of here, but it's got some nice fabric. I quite like this actually. It's the same material that's used down here for the webbing of the bottom of the shoulder straps. And it's very, very well stitched in here. Tons of bar tack stitching and double stitches and back stitches. So this handle isn't gonna pop out anytime soon. Very strong. Now, next up, let's talk about the overall pros and cons of the King Kong Shift backpack. Pro number one is going to be all the high quality and heritage materials, particularly the Haley Stevenson wax canvas. Pro number two, I find it personally to be a very comfortable bag. And pro number three is going to be the water bottle pockets. They're excellent. Great depth, great capacity, and being extra secured by the two straps and the cincher right here. But on the flip side, all bags have cons, and here are mine. Con number one, the zippers do get a little snaggy. Con number two is just going to be the functional compromises that come with the side compression straps. And con number three is gonna be the weight. This bag is quite heavy at 3.2 pounds. Now we're gonna wrap everything together and give you my overall scores. Should be noted too, with all the scores I've given you guys and the one I'm about to give you, they're completely personal, just based on my experience using the bag. For value, I'm gonna give this bag a 3.5 out of 5. I think we got some really high quality materials across the board. Haley Stevenson wax canvas is such a gangster move in itself. And 250, you know, they could have charged 300 for this bag, no questions asked. So I think all the materials, plus the 25-year warranty, plus just considering how unique of an offering this bag actually is. So add those scores together and divide it by 4, we're looking at an overall score of 3.6 for the King Kong Shift backpack. And remember, if you are thinking about making a purchase, we do suggest doing so with the first link in the description, just because again, it makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's where you'll find them. But if you're not quite sold on the King Kong Shift backpack, let's talk alternatives. First of all, if you are new to the Nomads Nation channel, you might not know, but we actually started our own backpack brand here as well. And that brand is called Firo. And I created Firo after reviewing like 300 bags, and I kind of felt like there was something missing on the market, or like a lot of the bags had the same problems that I was seeing over and over again. So I made Firo to be the ultimate brand to keep modern professionals streamlined and focused. We've got a sling, a travel bag, and our own EDC, and I'm just so excited about what we built over there. If you want to learn more about Firo and our bags, you can do so at firo.co or with the second link in the description. Also, if you're new to Nomads Nation and you want to get like a better idea of the bag industry as a whole, you should definitely check out our leaderboard rankings video. In this video, myself and the whole Nomads Nation team, we get together and we pick our favorite bags in different bag categories. And there's a lot of bags out there and a lot of categories that we go through, but it's the best way for you to see what like the top options are on the market from a bunch of bag nerds. And I've gone ahead and linked that above. But if we're really close with the King Kong Shift, here are 2 specific bags that might get you a little bit closer. My first alternative recommendation is going to be the Thule Aion. I think this is a great pick for you if you like the vibe of the King Kong Shift, but you don't need maybe as much waxed canvas in your life as you thought, but you like the look because the Thule is bringing a 600D polyester with a wax finish. So it's not too far off in terms of the vibe, both when it comes to the primary fabric and just the overall feel of the bag. And it's coming in at like 50 bucks cheaper. And my second alternative will be the Evergoods CTB26. This is a great pick for you if you like a bag that has a lot of utility, capacity, and maybe you're a little underwhelmed by the functionality and utility of the King Kong Shift. This is what Evergoods, I think, does better than most brands out there. They're wizards at capacity. The water bottle holders are unbelievably legendary, and it's just a bag that can do a lot. It can go to a meeting, it can work on the trail, it can go to the gym. It's quite versatile from that perspective. Honestly, all 3 bags are amazing. You just gotta pick the best bag for your needs. And to learn more about the 2 alternatives, just watch these videos right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.